Decisions that we make will always have an impact on our lives. Each decision. And this is what this video is going to be about. Just decisions and making the right ones. Like, I was watching a video today. I don't know what city or what state. I was watching a video this morning. 18-year-old boy was charged with, I think he was a felon because he stole cash out the company he worked for, cash register. It just made me think how the decisions that we make will have an impact on our lives, because each person that is alive and each person that is living, we're all in a position in life because of the decisions that we make or we have made, good or bad. If you make good decisions, 9 times out of 10, you're going to live a good life. If you make bad decisions, your life might not be so good. So it's always important to make good decisions, and sometimes with decision it comes with discernment and emotional intelligence. When making a decision, especially a big decision, you got to ask yourself, how will this decision impact my life later? How will this decision impact my life in the future? Because a lot of people, they just make decisions in the moment without asking themselves or without really realizing that this decision is going to have an impact on me later. Because short-term decisions always have long-term outcomes. I'm going to say that again. Short-term decisions always have long-term outcomes. Just think about it. For example, when someone, gets ready to get married or get into a relationship, you got to ask yourself, is this the person who I want to be with? Do I see myself with them in the long term? Do I think this is going to work? Is this something that I want to pursue? If the answer is yes, then go for it. But if the answer is no, then you shouldn't. Because one thing that you can't do is blame your choices, your bad choices, on other people. You still chose to make the decision that you made, good or bad, to put yourself in a position, in a situation that you're in today, that you're in right now. And so many people, I know a lot of people who are like this, they make bad decisions and they blame the world. They blame others. They blame people who are close to them, instead of looking in the mirror and realize that this is a decision that I made. I got to own up to it, and I got to learn from it. We all make mistakes, but there's a difference between a mistake and a bad choice. A bad choice is where you know right from wrong and you still chose to do the wrong thing. A mistake is where you didn't know that was the wrong thing. A mistake could be you not knowing that something that you did was wrong. Therefore, that's a mistake. And we should learn from our mistakes. So therefore, if you make the same decision after you know right from wrong, that mistake will turn into a bad decision. Who we hang around, that's a decision that impacts our lives forever. who we marry, because that's a big decision. Who we get into relationships with. What type of content we consume, what type of music that we listen to, what type of things that we do. Those are decisions that either affect our lives for the good or affect our lives for the bad. Because this life is truly about choices. It's up to us where we go. It's up to us where we go. God gave us free will to pick and choose anything in life, right or wrong. It's up to you which way you go. If you say you want better, make better decisions. Get around people who gonna help you make good decisions. Because a lot of people are just around people who making bad decisions. And the Bible says, I believe it's 1 Corinthians 13. It says, bad company corrupts good morals. Hear the scripture up here. And if you hang around people who make bad decisions, you're going to end up making the same decisions too. And another thing too, when making long-term decisions, like for example, having children, because this is something that I've really been, we'll just say I've been focused on it. Well, not because I'm not thinking of having children. I'm still young. I want to live my life. But I've been noticing a lot of people that when they participate in certain acts, they don't ask themselves, if we have a kid after this activity that we participate in, I'll just say that, am I going to be ready to take care of it? And a lot of people, especially my age, I see people who are younger than me walking around with multiple children. And I don't want to go off topic, and that's one of the biggest decisions that you will make in your life, that I feel like that is so downplayed. Because let me tell you, choosing to have children, you just got to make sure you're ready. Because that's a huge responsibility. Kids is probably one of the biggest responsibilities that a person will ever take on. You just got to make sure that you're ready. Because, and this is why so many people, and decisions can be made at the wrong time. Don't get me wrong, having children are a blessing, kids are a blessing. Because I believe humans are a blessing. Because as humans, we have so much strengths, and we can accomplish anything we put our mind to. But when you have kids at the wrong time, it complicates things. And that would be an example of a decision at the wrong time when it was just not your time. A blessing birthed at the wrong time. And therefore, that could be a bad decision. What's not a bad decision for somebody else might not be a bad decision for that person, if you guys know what I'm saying. For example, someone who is married choosing to have children, that would be considered a good decision if they're ready. And if them and their spouse are ready. But a boyfriend and girlfriend of any kind, of any age group, choosing to have children, that's a bad decision, because you're supposed to wait until marriage. God's way is always the best way. And the Bible, it doesn't tell us rules to control us. It tells us these guidelines and the scriptures to help us live a successful and prosperous life so that our days may be long on earth. But it's about the decisions that we make that impact our lives forever. Between the ages of 18 to 35, The decisions that you make between that time frame, that 17 to 18 year span, will shape out your lives, your life in your 40s and in your 50s and beyond. Because in this society, decisions are not thought carefully. People make irrational decisions. They make irrational choices out of anger or out of fear. You gotta stop and think. You gotta think with your brain. Sometimes it's just common sense too. Half of decision making is just common sense to me. It's just common sense. So guys, make good choices, because decisions that we make will always affect our life. Like me, the current position that I'm in is because I chose to make good choices. Versus, I know people who are in my family, or people that I know, people that I even grew up with, who are struggling because they made bad decisions. If you're in a bad situation in your life because you made bad choices, if you're in a good situation in your life, it's because you made good choices. The spot that we're in our lives is because of our decisions, because life is 10% what happened to us, 90% of the choices that we make and what we're going to do about it. Everyone who has what they have, good or bad, is because they made some type of decision and they reap the benefits. You want to reap the benefits of your decisions and not the consequences. Because I know a lot of people where all it started was just one thing. Whether it was from linking up with the wrong person, or hanging out at the wrong place at the wrong time, which changed their life forever. I know them stories too well. And who we decide to spend the rest of our life with, who we decide to give ourselves to, is a underestimated decision. Because a lot of people these days in society, will just link up with anybody. We'll just participate in certain activities with anyone. And we wonder why our life is so chaotic. Because you chose to do that. You see, me, I'm okay with being alone. Have people made fun of me? Yeah. Have people made fun of me for not participating in certain activities? Yeah. It used to bother me when I was young, but as I got older, I just don't care. Like, I got the mentality that I don't care about what goes on in people's life if they making bad choices. I'm focused on what I have to do, and I'm trying to make good choices so I can live a good, prosperous, and successful life. That's why my life is so great right now. Like, I don't have any worries, I don't have any doubts, I don't have any fears. And there's still stuff I gotta take care of, yeah, but that's a part of life. So yeah, guys, just make good choices. Seriously, make good choices, because when I was watching that video earlier, it just made me think how that person chose to do it. You chose to steal. And that's a bad decision, because you know better. You know better than anybody that's in their right mind, know better than to steal from a company, because you're always going to get caught. All companies, they should have security cameras. 9 times out of 10 that they do. And when you think that you're gonna get away with something, I know you're not. And that's why it's so important to have integrity. Don't lie and don't steal. But again, they made that choice, so now they gotta bear the consequences. I don't know where they're at right now. I don't know if they're in jail. I don't know if they got bailed out. I don't know, but that person was crying, saying, please don't send me to jail. Please don't send me to jail. I find it crazy how you want to make bad choices and then you don't want to deal with the consequences. I never understood that, how people can make bad choices and try to deal with the consequences. It's almost like they try to choose their own consequence. That's not how it works. You got to make good choices so you can reap the results. And that person lost everything over one bad decision. I seen in the video he lost his scholarship. I believe he was playing a sport. I believe he also said that he had a lot of stuff going on. The reason why he stole from the companies because he had a lot of stuff to pay for, but that's not an excuse. That's honestly not an excuse to steal from people. You can't use an excuse just for a bad decision because it don't work like that. Life don't roll like that. You have so much control over your life. Your life would be so much better if we made better choices as humans and hang out with people who want to see us win and not want to tear us down.